You ever notice how nothing that the government says anymore makes you happy? It's just like, oh, that's what you're doing to us now. Compared to founding fathers, everybody, well, everybody was like, oh, yeah, this is going to be nice having rights and freedoms and stuff. This is going to be good. We don't have to worry about what we should talk about anymore. And I don't know how it was taken. I haven't read any books and I haven't heard anything, but I do know that they were trying to improve stuff, getting rid of you know, kind of gave people a little bit more freedom with their own money by not having to pay a tax on everything, which is the opposite of what's going on now. They don't use the terms "you're gonna love these new laws we're throwing at you." They use the word "this is going to affect." Everything's going to affect. There's no love. This government's not giving us any love. The people that are coming here from other countries, uh, they're coming here because of the freedom rights, and mostly now they're coming here not because of that, but because of more money. Most of the people are coming here because there's more money here, and that's from the taxes and just basically the economy and how the economy is and how their country is. They've affected the citizens, putting more and more laws, and it's exactly what these government, that's all you hear anymore is how they're going to affect how what they're doing. Well, this is going to affect your life in this way. It's not you're going to love what we're doing for you now. There's none of that. And I think that's the problem with this country is everybody's being affected by everything the government does. Nobody's loving what the government does. They're being affected by what the government does. So that's the reason there's so much tension. It's because nobody likes what the government's doing. Well, the homosexuals liked it because they got marriage, but what that did for the whole country is everybody said, they wasn't thinking about homosexuals getting married. They wasn't thinking about homosexuals uh, now all you hear is, oh yeah, it's great, isn't it? How the homosexuals, I mean, they're not talking that, but they're saying how they're not. But when it is talked, it's like, oh yeah, they got the freedom to, whatever. You hear this, that, and the other. But it's everybody that's lived here or had family here for centuries, and people saying, well, that's what this is what the Indians are like. No, the Indians aren't at war anymore. Not saying, there's an argument that some you could talk to say, well, their tribe wasn't at war, and some you talk to, their tribe was, and you'll hear Mexicans say that they're from here because there's some like statues or some stones that were stacked from people that came up here, and I'm guessing were at war with the Indians before we got here. Anyway, I'm just saying everything that the government's doing affects us, but doesn't, but it, that's the word they're using. There's no love from this government. It's not like you're gonna love what we're doing with this country. You're gonna love. Nobody loves anything. Our taxes are going up. Our the what we just got back a bunch of business before the pandemic with Trump. Businesses, all these people were working and gas prices were dropped. They weren't, they weren't down to what it was back in what was it? Before Bush took control. The oil baron Bush, whose friends were all oil and we wanted more money, and now we're paying out the yazoo for what Bush wanted and his buddies, and Trump was taking us back. They eased the burden of buying fuel. I mean, it wasn't back to, I remember back in, what was it, pre uh, millennial, pre 2000, it was like 80 cents. I'm thinking, I was buying mostly diesel. I can't remember what the gas price was, but it was like 80 cents a gallon. And that was back when, so it was 80 cents a gallon, and diesel was cheaper than fuel, so prices must have been $1.20 for gas, maybe. I don't know. That sounds high. I remember back when I was first started driving back in mid 70s, I could put $5 in my pickup and get 3/4 of a tank of fuel. That's what I remember. I was driving around on E. If I got lucky and had $5, I could get 3/4 a tank of fuel. That's what I remember. And but now, $5 won't get you nothing. $5 will get you. You'll flash for a second of the. It's like 1 gallon, a little over a gallon and a half. But they're not doing anything. Everybody's that's born here. There's no love coming our way. It's just, they're writing all this new stuff for immigrants that are coming here. They're supposed to be coming here for the freedom and liberties, but they're coming here for the money. And they're not writing any laws for people that have been here for centuries. They're not making them love this country. In fact, that's what all the tension is. It's all like, oh no, you're gonna lose. It's affecting you. It means you're gonna lose. You're gonna lose, and that's what all these infringements are. It's like, I don't understand what they're doing with laws. They're just writing against people that are here, and the people who are coming here, they're supposed to be coming here for the freedoms and liberties. They're writing laws for them. Oh, you're gonna live off the taxes of the people that are living here. And the people that are living here are going, there's some that are like, that completely liberal that probably don't pay taxes. They're thinking, oh yeah, this is gonna be great for them. If I was coming here, yeah, that's the problem with everybody. They thinks they write for, if they write a law for, criminals. Oh, this is gonna ease the criminal burden. Criminals are going to get off easier on crimes they commit, and people saying, well, that's good because if I was a criminal, that's how they think. You don't think, well, hey, to stop crime, we need this stuff. And they're thinking, well, no, if I was a criminal, instead of getting rid of crime, they've never had a crime committed against them. They're living in a nice little cozy place where, oh, this is going to be great. Or else they have a bunch of relatives that are locked up. And oh, this is going to be great, people that aren't never going to be affected by it, and people that are always affected by it, but it doesn't help society in any way. That's what they're writing laws for, because they've been writing laws for 200 years, and they don't need to write any more laws. I mean, the only thing I think the only thing that's good anymore is they're getting rid of stoplights here, in small towns and stuff, and areas where traffic flow isn't heavy. Instead of putting a stoplight or stop signs, they got traffic circles. I like that because you don't have to stop, and that's basically helping with my freedom of my liberty of movement. But they're not doing that. Well, they're not doing it everywhere, but I mean, all they're doing is they're writing stuff that affects us. I mean, effect is not you're going to love this. Effect means this is going to cost you something. This is going to cost you a right or a freedom, and that's all they're doing now. Why are they doing that? What is the problem with these people? They're writing what it is we don't need lawmakers. We got enough laws. In fact, we need to get rid of laws, and they're not doing that. They might do that once in a while, and then they'll celebrate it in the newspapers. Oh, well, here's a 200-year-old law that breadcrumbs you can't dump loaves of bread out in the street anymore. You know, they used to dump loaves of bread in the street because it added to whatever. It's just a fake reference. But there was stupid laws that are off the books, but they got stupid laws that they're writing, stupid laws that have been written that they just complicate life with. They're not simplifying, they're not helping life, is what I'm trying to say. You notice that they're not helping anybody. They're just infringing upon your freedoms and rights and what you would love the country for, and instead you're saying, wow, it's some people that aren't affected by anything, that don't pay or don't do anything except uh, flow through channels that are never going to be affected because it's a completely do nothing atmosphere is what they're in. And the rest of us that actually do stuff are having everything shut down. It's like, I used to be able to do this, I used to be able to go there, I used to be able to do this. I'm not talking criminal activity, I'm just talking stuff that used to be legal. They're making illegal, or they're closing areas down where you can't do it anymore. They're making it like ATV riding or stuff like that. Like in parks, you can't do that anymore. Deer. You're scaring deer away. You're building houses in farmlands where animals eat. You're spreading your cities out, taking away animal lands, and you're saying, I lived in the country. Deer don't. I remember riding snowmobiles and stuff, and we had a salt lick behind our house, right behind our house, and the herd of deer had come up there. It was there for the cows, and a herd of deer had come up. I mean, a large herd, 40 head of deer would come up there, and be licking on the salt block, and I'd come around the house with the snowmobile. And I just sit there, and the deer just look at me. They'd be like 40 headed. It wouldn't bother them. I was on a snowmobile, and went around the house, and they're not scattering into the wind because they get used to something, and they're like, oh, we know what that is. It's not trying to kill us or anything. Of course there are idiots on snowmobiles, I'm sure, that would chase a deer down or think, well, let's scare the deer because we're idiots. There's those kind of people, and then there's normal people that say, oh, I'd turn off the snowmobile and just sit and watch the deer for a while, or whatever. But they'd come back. It's not like they ran away and, oh, we can't ever go back there. There was noise, and that's what these people think. Like they're people that have never lived in the country, don't know what it's like. And they're like writing laws for people that are like, what are these idiots doing? Writing laws that, oh, well, there's a motorcycle. You can't ride motorcycles out in the middle of nowhere because it scares the deer, and they'll never come back, and it'll take decades for them to get the nerve. Oh, bullcrap. Deer migrate through areas what do you think? They just sit in one place and eat? Even cows, if they ever watch cows move through a field, they go from one field, one side of a field to the other in a couple hours. They don't stay in one place. I'm so sick of these idiots. They know nothing. All they know is that we got to keep our job. So let's write laws that affect people. That's probably what they get together. Yeah, we need to write. We don't need no more laws. We got enough laws. What we need is our freedom, rights, liberties open back up instead of this closing down. It's almost like they're treating us like sick people that they want to get rid of. Oh, you're sick because you want to go out in the peaceful country and go riding. Well, the peaceful country is where you're building your houses and you're spreading your cities out into, taking habitat away from animals, and then having people run animals out of the city and say, oh, we built out here in the country, and we have bobcats and deer. Oh, these deer came through my yard and left marks. We can't have freaking people. idiots living on a planet. That's the problem. There's the breeders are you're creating idiots, and a lot of them are becoming lawyers, and they get into government and they ruin it for everybody. I could coexist on this planet with a machine and not bother animals. You know, it's this is there's more deer killed on the highway during hunting season because hunters go into they're going in and killing deer, and it's running deer out of you can see it on the highway during deer season or anything. You can see them crossing roadways to get away from hunters. That's who's causing a problem. The deer know, you know, when they're being hunted. Animals know when they're being hunted and stuff. That's what they run from. They don't run from a guy riding through a forest on a motorcycle. They're like, oh, look at that weird human is. He's not shooting at us. They'll stare at you. But a hunter, they know they're being hunted unless the hunter's there and he's been sitting there and the deer walk into the area because they got baited into the area, and now they're going to get their head blowed off. Oh, they won't get their head blowed off because that's a trophy. I'm just saying. They're writing laws that affect us and not for us, that cause us to not love this country. And that's what's going on. We're supposed to love the rights and freedoms and liberties of this country, and they keep taking them.